As you can see here, I've gathered a lot of different materials from around the house. I went to the recycling and found some candy wrappers, a shopping bag, and a bag that was holding garlic. Um, I also thought to use a paper towel holder, or a toilet paper roller would work as well. And then just cut up some cardboard from a plastic bag box. Um, I went to the bathroom and found some Q-tips. And then I went outside and I tried to find things in nature. So I have some lavender, and then I found something from our aloe tree, and then I got some branches. And then from the kitchen, I have sponges and a scrub pad. So all of these things here will make interesting bristles for your homemade brush. To put together your brushes, you can look around the house and try and find some of these things. If you have a straw, straws are going to be really great because they will create the shaft of the brush. If you have tape of any sort, that would be great. Wire, if you happen to have any around. Rubber bands. I know when I get broccoli or any vegetable, it's held together with rubber bands, and I usually save those. And you'll definitely need a pair of scissors. The first method that I'm going to show you is using a straw for the shaft. This is really good for natural materials. If you have feathers, it could work well also. So I'm going to use the straw to hold the materials together. So the first brush I'm going to make is I'm going to try and take these spines from the aloe tree here, and I am going to gather them together. Hold them at the tip and sort of pass them up through the straw, so the whole of the straw, so they all pass through at the same time. So it's kind of like threading a needle in a way. And then I'm going to just push them up. Okay. And I may want to pull these ones back a little and push this one in a little, just to make sure that they're all at the same length. Okay. So now I have my 3 little bristles. Okay. And this will be for one of my first brushes. So I'm going to put that aside. The next brush I'm going to make, I'm going to use the sticks that I found, and I'm going to press them all together. I want to tap them down to make sure that they're even, so they're all going to feed in at the same time. And again, I'm going to do that same method where I'm going to take them and I'm going to push them into the tube of the straw. Okay, so you can see I lost one, so I'm going to just come in there and feed that one in separately. Okay, and I feel it's a little loose, so I might just feed another one in there to fill that space so there's less looseness there. Okay, oops. Okay. All right, so now I have my second brush, and I'm going to put that aside. For this next brush, I'm going to use the little bristles that I cut off of my broom, but I'm going to lay them down on a piece of tape. So I just found this tape that I had there. It could be any tape that you have, but with these, because they're a little bit more slippery, I would say that having a base for them is going to be a little bit better so that they don't fall out. So working with the tape is a little bit tricky, but I'm going to just hold on the edge and then just try and feed these one at a time, you know, down here. Okay, so now I'm going to trim these a little bit so they're a bit more consistent in length. So I'm going to cut that off there. Okay, and now I have my first synthetic bristles. So I have my natural ones over here. And now I'm going to start going through the different materials that I've found. And the first thing I'm doing is I'm just bundling the bristles so that they will be usable for the brush. So I'm going to try here with my plastic one. And this was just from a takeout bag. So if you've been ordering any food to go, you probably have a bunch of these around. And so I'm just like, again, rolling it in. And the reason I'm rolling it in is I want to make sure that they sort of come together so that they can be more like a paintbrush when you're painting down. And it's okay if they're a little bit irregular. You know, it's going to add more texture. So I found this little tie from some package thing that I bought, maybe some produce. You could use one of these ties. You could use a rubber band. A lot of things that I found were just in the kitchen from things that I've bought. So in that little drawer, special drawer that everybody has in the kitchen, I'm sure you'll have something. So now I have this one put together. I'm going to try this one here with the more like onion bag texture. And again, I'm just rolling it together because rolling it together is going to allow for a convergence of the material at the top and allows for it to flare out at the bottom. And on this one here, again, I'm going to come in. This time I'll use this little rubber band. And so with the rubber band, I'm just going to take it and twist it around to make sure that it goes down. Okay, so now I have bristles like this. Now I could come in and I could separate them a little bit so that they have more of a fluid movement. Okay, so now we have that. Okay, so we're getting some good brushes here. All right, so this one here, I'm going to just use this recycled cardboard. And the recycled cardboard works well. Your bristles thickness will depend on how close you cut your lines. So what I did first is I just folded my paper in half. And then I just came in with the scissors and I created parallel lines. So I'm just going to come in here, and I'm trying to be kind of consistent with the distance between them. And this is the same technique that you will use for the paper towel or toilet paper roll brush. So either one, it's just both of them are made out of cardboard. So whatever you can find will work. Okay, so I'm just going to come through to the end. Here we go. And now I have cut up the pieces into bristles. So you can see that's the same technique I used for this one. Now to make these into a brush, you can then just roll it into itself again, like this. And once again, use whatever material you have. If you have a wire tie hanging around, or you have some actual wire, you could use string if you have string, or you could use a piece of tape. So I'm going to just use, since I have this right here, oh, and rubber bands also work. So I'm going to just come in here and I'm just going to wrap that around. And so now I have my cardboard brush there. Here we have lots of different brushes so far. Okay, and for the Q-tip ones, you could use a Q-tip just singular as it is, or you can take a bunch of them and you can sort of wrap them together. And again, this could be with a rubber band, it could be with tape, it could be with wire, whatever you have that will hold it together. Just use that. So I'm going to come in here and I'm just going to come in the middle here, and that way I have two different brushes, right? I have this. Now, these, if you have them all lined up at the bottom, you can do nice little dots and it will paint little dots. I've also seen people lay it out flat and build a little raft-like structure, and then you can get a straight line going across. So you can just experiment with how you want to put those together. And then with the brush for the sponge, I just like cut this up into little pieces here. And for this one, you're definitely going to want it something like rubber band or wire rather than tape. And you're just going to come in here and just wrap it off a little bit. And I'm going to go like that. So wrap that off. Okay, and now I have some sponge bristles. And then this one you could just use just like this, right? you can use this one just like this too. So as long as you can hold it, you can paint with it, right? Now, if you wanted to, you could come in and get a chopstick. So you can see, like, I have some chopsticks here, right? And you could find something. It could be a stick that you found outside. It could be a pencil. It could be any material that can create a handle. And then you can use either a rubber band, or you could use tape or wire, whatever material it is that you want. And you're going to just choose which one you want to have on a handle. Attach it at the base here, like so. And now you have a paintbrush with a handle. Okay.